Hello everybody, this is Daniel with Daniel's Bullion Coins, and I thought we would enjoy this nice evening out here on the porch. It's late June and we are just loving this weather. We normally don't get it this nice in June, this late in June, and July and August are coming. So let's enjoy the outside porch as much as we can. Like I said, this is Daniel's Bullion Coins, and I want to answer a few questions that came in. One of the questions that came in is the price of silver gonna go lower? Should I buy later, hold out for the price of silver to go lower? And I want to refer back to this chart that we've been adding to and changing and adapting, but we're only going to look at just a corner of it for right now because it's gotten so scribbled all over with answering other people's questions. But we were talking about the price of silver and how it goes up and down. Here it is going up and down over history. And right now, the price is down. It's kind of low right here. But the price of the tangible coins, actually holding a coin in your hand, is starting to go up. And the paper price is starting to go down right here. That's where we have the $1,800 for gold and $2,000 to buy an actual coin. So these are round numbers. You've got about $200 right there in premium or tangible. Actually hold it in your hand. And I call this the unhooking. This is where we're unhooking. So will the price go lower in paper? I believe so. I believe it's going to continue to trail down like this, and you'll see the paper price go, who knows, maybe below 20. It's a possibility. Nobody really knows for sure. But I have a feeling, just talking to my supplier, my wholesale supplier, and seeing the buyers that are coming in, that we're going to continue to see this get wider, and it'll be $400 in quote-unquote premium. But in order to acquire the actual tangible gold, that 200 will start to be 400 between here and the paper price. The other thing is, I believe, and the possibilities are there, that you could actually wake up one day and there's something going on, and the coin shops will be closed. They will absolutely be closed, and it will not be available. That's the falling knife scenario. A lot of people come into my shop and they talk to me about buying silver and gold, and they're going to wait, or maybe down the road or whatever. I call them, they're waiting to catch a falling knife, and this one doesn't have a handle on it. So you just will not be able to catch this knife once it starts to fall, because the supply chain is so fragile and so paper thin right now that the silver and the gold could evaporate instantly, especially if there's gyrations in the pricing or anything happens. The price will begin to go up, and you will not be able to get it. I wanted to answer a couple of other quick questions that came in. One of them is kind of funny, and we've heard this expression before: you can't eat it. You can't eat gold and silver. You can't eat the coins. And I've talked about how it's a store of value. They don't rust, but the food will spoil. So you put your money into gold and silver and it doesn't decay. That's why people use gold and silver, not to eat it. And this particular expression came about from an investor that we see on TV, very common. If I said his name, you'd know exactly who I was talking about. Says it all the time: you can't eat your gold and silver. Now, what this program does is they have him as a spokesman, and then they have money investors who, if they want a career, they have to play along with the dollar scenario game. They have to play that game. So he's just the spokesman getting clients for his investors that he has all over the nation. And he needs as many clients as he possibly can, because he gets a share of that money. And these investors are actually, by law, not allowed to recommend gold and silver. When there's a lawsuit and you see JP Morgan being sued and they have to pay $500,000 or a couple of $1 million fine, you think they're being punished. They're actually being rewarded, because the courts will say, pay the government $500,000 or $2 million, whatever it is, but we will put laws in place to protect you in the future so that clients don't sue JP Morgan any longer. So JP Morgan is basically win-win-win, because they get laws put in place to benefit them and protect them from people suing them for malpractice or manipulating the price. I'm getting off track a little bit, but I want to talk about JP Morgan just for another minute. Everybody remembers the financial crisis that we had when the housing bubble burst, and Bear Stearns, by the government, was thrown under the bus and not given a bailout. The government picked and chose who they were going to bail out. And now we're still talking about this financial investor, and why the point I'm trying to make is I'm still making the same point. Why they play along. The reason they play along is because they want to have favorites and have favorites done for them by the government. And here's an example of the favoritism that they get. Bear Stearns was not given a bailout, and they were thrown under the bus and had to file bankruptcy. Well, what that did is that gave the 50% control of the silver market to JP Morgan, who already held 50% of the control. And that made it 100% control that JP Morgan held, because they played along with the government, doing what the government asked. And coincidentally, JP Morgan held 0 ounces of tangible silver in their vaults. 0. Over the past 10 to 12 years, they have accumulated, according to their documents, north of 300 million ounces they've been accumulating. So they know that what's coming, because they're stockpiling the tangibles because of the favoritism that was played, and this investor is playing favoritism, so he throws gold and silver people under the bus. So they place bets on whether or not the silver is going to go up or go down, and isn't it coincidental that they're right every time? The last 10 to 15 years, they've never been wrong on one of their bets on whether silver is going to go up or down. So it's how the government plays favorites. So this particular investor that's on TV, he wants to be in with the government and have the SEC look the other way, and he wants to prop up the dollar, and he wants his advisors that are networked all across the country to continue to send him a portion of investors' money that invests the way that into the dollar, into the market, so that they can continue to move the ball forward in the best interest of the dollar. So what they do is they stage a telephone thing, and people call in, and a screener screens the gold and silver people, and they look for the biggest fool. And the fool, they come into my shop, many of them. What they do is they see something that says silver's going to triple digits or gold's going to 10,000. There's so many people out there, which I believe it is, but they don't hear the facts about it. You can go and see that in other videos. They think that silver's going to go to 300, and they're going to go out and buy $300 worth of groceries. It's not going to be like that. Bread's going to be 300, but that's another story. You can go see the chicken video. But what they do is they get these people and they screen them, and they say, this is the perfect fool to put up in front of this investor who's going to give this advice and mock this person. So hypothetically, I heard one time, and this is sort of how it went. Lady calls in. We inherited $100,000. We heard that gold was going to go to 10,000. So we put the whole 100,000 into gold, and now gold has gone down, and the hot water heater's broken, the car needs to be replaced, and we really need that money right now to just go on with life and do some things. And then he starts making fun of him for buying gold. and just making a mockery of them. Well, you bought that and now you can't eat it. You can't do anything with it. It's your pet rock, and all the slogans start to come out. Well, these people come into my shop and they start talking to me, and I start telling them my story. You know, I've been doing all these videos, and they start putting everything into gold and silver. And then they realize that they don't have enough money to get the car fixed or to get tires on the car or whatever, and they start coming back and having to resell back to me at a loss, and they get a bitter taste in their mouth, or they call up a financial advisor who mocks them on TV. So what the point is, do not buy gold and silver to get rich quick. Do not put your money into gold and silver that you're going to need in the future. This is an insurance plan. You're making an insurance payment on your house or your car. The advantage to this insurance payment is, sorry about the interruption, we were talking about insurance for you use silver and gold as insurance, not as a get rich quick. Let's change gears real quick and go to the gold and silver ratio right now. I've got round numbers, so if you go checking this math, you're going to find out it's wrong. But for right now, we're just going to do round numbers so that we can do this in our head. In the crust, it's about 20-1. As the miner starts to yield the gold and silver out of the ground, that ratio is 10-1. Some miners say it's 7, some miners say 8. That we're just rounding things up so we can make this something we can do in our head. 10-1. That's the miner. That's the mine or the miner right there. What his ratio is. Okay. The historic ratio that was originally established was 15-1. That was the silver to the gold. So if I multiplied this by the price of spot, that would, by the ounces, it would equal the gold. The reason that they used 15-1 as the historic ratio, this is funny, to get it from the mine to the mint, when it comes out of the mint, it had to be drawn with horse and buggy. So dragging the silver, large quantities of the silver, the ore and all of that, and getting it refined through the process, what you come out with is much heavier. I have held 250,000 in gold in one hand. I can lift it up like this, it's no problem. Gold, 250,000. But 10,000 or 20,000, at about 20,000 in silver, I need a cart to carry it. I can carry about 10,000 with two hands and straining, but $20,000 in silver, I have to have a cart to carry it. So you can see how it's much heavier. It wears down the horses and wears out the wagons. So they set it at 15-1. Now technology has advanced and all of that, and we can move it with trucks fairly easier now. We have equipment, the industrial age, all of that. I think we're probably closer to the 10-1 by nowadays if everything reverted back to the mean. Today it's approximately 85-1. That's the paper price. The paper price, the manipulated JP Morgan, all of that we've been talking about, 85-1. So here we have approximately $22 for the silver and $18.50 for the gold right here, and these are in troy ounces. So that's 85-1. If we go to the historic ratio, we're $123 per ounce for the silver at the same price it is right now. We're just going back to the historic ratio. So if we have $18.50 here, and factoring in the industrial age, we should be able to reduce from the wagons and the horses the 15-1 ratio, and that would put us at $185 per troy ounce. So somewhere between 123 and 185 at today's market for gold is where silver should be. If anybody has any questions, this would be a really fun one to try me on. And here again, we've shown that the 3-digit price of silver, and this is before any form of collapse, any form of scarcity in silver and gold right now. The true value, the manipulated down proof is right there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We really appreciate it. Have a good day.